Today we are answering the question, what is cognitive dissonance? Cognitive dissonance refers to the state of discomfort an individual feels when they hold two competing ideas, such as loving the environment while also supporting non-sustainable industries. This can only occur when the individual realizes there is a conflict. For example, Jim is a longtime Redskins football fan. Jim also, however, thinks the term Redskins is racist. Jim experiences cognitive dissonance because his strong support of the Redskins is in conflict with his feelings about their name. Jim's dissonance is then intensified by four key factors. First, his support of the Redskins was freely chosen. He isn't from the Washington, D.C. area, but he still chooses to support the team. Second, Jim was not coerced or bribed to like the Redskins or see their name as racist, so there is no strong reward or threat guiding his attitudes. Third, his support of the Redskins cannot be withdrawn. His Facebook wall is full of Hail to the Redskins posts, and his office cubicle is full of Redskins memorabilia. Everyone knows Jim is a Redskins fan. Lastly, the Redskins have been criticized over the years for their name. Jim's current dilemma could have been foreseeable for years, but he didn't bother looking into both sides until recently. Since the state of dissonance causes active discomfort for Jim, he is motivated to avoid competing ideas. As a result, Jim is likely to turn to one of three ways to avoid dissonance: selective exposure, selective perception, or motivated reasoning. When Jim engages in selective exposure, he seeks out information that agrees with him. For example, Jim constantly likes and shares articles on Facebook that state that the Redskins should keep their name because they are a well-established football team, even if that name holds a negative connotation. Focusing on these articles helps Jim avoid dissonance by reconciling his competing beliefs. Jim also engages in selective perception. This is when Jim misperceives reality so that he only sees what he wants to see. For example, Jim saw a video online that showed Native Americans being honored on FedEx Field. Jim refuses to see the gesture as anything but a full endorsement of the team by Native Americans, even if the ceremony was a public relations tactic. Here, Jim avoids dissonance by denying the reality that caused him to hold competing beliefs. Lastly, Jim also uses motivated reasoning to avoid dissonance. Motivated reasoning refers to counter-arguing disagreeable information. For example, one of Jim's coworkers mentions that he thinks the Redskins should change their name. Jim responds by pointing out that the coworker's favorite team is the Chiefs. Jim argues, if no one is calling for the Chiefs to change their name, why should the Redskins have to change their name? Here again, Jim dodges dissonance by pushing back against information that causes him to have competing ideas. Sometimes, however, dissonance is unavoidable. In this case, an individual uses a process of justification and rationalization to decrease the dissonance they are experiencing. This includes believing their own lies, increasing the importance of self-identity, derogating groups that disagree with them, and lessening the importance of disagreeable information. Beginning with believing their own lies, Jim might convince himself that the name Redskins in this context is so far removed from its original usage that there is no way anyone could realistically say it's offensive, even though Native American issues are still a major concern today. Jim might also try to increase the importance of his self-identity to decrease dissonance. For example, he might say, "What the fans think matters most, and I have been a Redskins fan longer than anyone I know." In addition, Jim might derogate groups that disagree with him. For example, he may claim, just because some teenage social justice warrior is on Tumblr stirring up imaginary problems doesn't mean my favorite team has to change their name. Lastly, Jim might try to lessen the importance of disagreeable information. For example, he might claim, "Sure, the name offends a few people, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that the Redskins are winning." When dissonance is inevitable, all of these strategies can help people like Jim lessen the discomfort they are experiencing. To review, what is cognitive dissonance? Cognitive dissonance refers to the discomfort an individual experiences when they realize they are holding competing beliefs. Because this is an uncomfortable state, individuals may turn to one or more of these three ways to avoid dissonance: selective exposure, selective perception, or motivated reasoning. Sometimes, however, avoiding dissonance is impossible. When this happens, individuals are motivated to take steps to reduce the discomfort they are experiencing. These steps include believing their own lies, increasing the importance of self-identity, derogating groups that disagree with them, and lessening the importance of disagreeable information. So there you have it, everything you need to know about cognitive dissonance theory.